Hello, this is Budgets with Grace, where I give you a glimpse of my life through the lens of my budget. My name's Grace. I have my coffee. I'm ready to give you another budget tour. A few people have asked for this tour based on my household budget. I have a category called Future, which I like to think of as an open-ended savings account for the things in my future that I care about the most, like travel and my fingers crossed wedding someday. And today I want to show you my budget for my hopefully Europe trip in 2021. Considering hopefully the pandemic is somewhat like reasonable by then, but this at least keeps me motivated to save. So first off, I'll show you the accounts that I've linked here. These are both unlinked accounts, so I just manage them manually. This reflects the amount that I have in my household budget. And the way that I do this is I just reconcile every once in a while. I say no, and then I update it to the balance that is in that budget line. Yeah, let me know if you have questions about that. The reason I don't do it by adding a transaction is because then it would have to clear, and that just feels like too much work to me. And it's not really like an inflow because I'm not transferring the account, I'm just tracking how much I have. And this is a new category that I have added because we canceled our travel plans for the holidays, which I won't talk a lot about because I will cry. So sad that I don't get to see my family. But it's for everybody's health and safety. The one thing that I thought about this recently is half of this belongs to my boyfriend Forrest, so I think I'll divide by 2 and then make a little memo. So Forrest, my boyfriend, he gets half of it and I get half of it, and I just want to note that the total is $10.40. And I'll say that's correct. Now I'm going to go back to my budget. Because I adjusted that, I'm going to just quickly fix it by taking it from one category. Okay, so there's many ways to lay out your budget to travel. I have considerable experience with this. I have traveled solo to a couple of continents. I went on a Mediterranean trip in 2015 where I spent 6 weeks somewhere between Turkey, Greece, and Venice, Italy. And then in 2016, I had a great opportunity to go to Southeast Asia where I traveled for 4.5 months, which is an experience I wouldn't trade for the world. And through those experiences, I've really learned how to think about all the things that you want to incorporate in your trip and come up with a realistic number to meet all those goals. I have to admit I've never used YNAB for this. I've only been using YNAB for about 6 months. I used to just do it on scrap paper. I used to do it when I was 16, my very first international trip. I did a tour through school. You guys might have heard of EF tours or Education First tours. And I worked my very part-time job while I was in high school and middle school so that I could make this trip to Italy happen. And that just involved calculations, like what is the total that I need, plus anything extra that I need that isn't included, and then how many hours do I need to work at this rate to reach that total. YNAB does a lot of that math for you, but it's the same kind of thought process. So what I've done so far is have a category called Getting There. I'm thinking might want some good walking shoes. We want to go in October or maybe November, so definitely some winter gear to keep myself warm. This cat sitter, I am not sure what I'm gonna do with my cats because we're hoping to go to Europe for a full month. So I need to find someone to sit them for me, or perhaps I was thinking of having a local friend kind of do part-time sitting and then supplement that with a little bit of like professional house and cat sitters so that, he can go out of town for a weekend of the month and not be restrained by taking care of my animals. But that is a bridge that I think I'll cross when this goal is a little bit closer. So we want to fly from Seattle to London. And I'm going to just go forward to the bar updates. I've flown Seattle to London before, and you can get some really good deals in October, November, which is why we're planning to go that time of year. I have a hostel dash private room. While I was traveling, I began staying in hostels when I was in Greece in 2015, and I stayed in hostels throughout my entire trip in Southeast Asia. I don't think, well, there might have been a couple nights in a private room because I was in countries like Myanmar where at the time the travel industry was a lot more sparse. It's definitely exploded since that time, but there just weren't a lot of hostels and it was just really different. But anyway, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, hostels, 100% of the way. Pubs, like definitely gonna plan to buy some beer in London. And that can get expensive, especially if you're getting like meals with it. It's a big city, so I just expect to spend a lot of money on food, which is why I have so many categories for pubs and dine-in restaurants. Like, I love getting Indian food in London and also street food and fast food because if we're out at pubs drinking, I have ended up at McDonald's before in London after doing that. Also, because I've been to London before, I know that I really want to go to a comedy show. Um, and I figure I budgeted 80, planning to pay for myself and Forrest. So maybe $40 a ticket. That seems like pretty reasonable to see a really dry British comedy show. I'm going to add a few things. Museum entry, and also walking tour tip. They have this great company. They're probably located in other cities as well. It's called Strawberry Tours, and it's a free walking tour, and they have like many different tours all over London for, I don't know if it's each different borough or maybe just the most popular ones, but I did 2 of them. I liked them so much. So I'm going to ignore that. That's my job. Somebody's talking to me. I'm gonna budget, I'm gonna go with 10 because I expect us to do one walking tour and I want to just give them $10 to the tour guide. Oh, I guess I shouldn't budget that right now. I should make it my goal. Great. So I'll probably be able to fund that really quickly, but we're planning to go in November 2021, so I just put that there. I don't know. I think I'll just take the date off because it's just such a small amount. I don't want it to break it up over the next 12 months. And museum entry fee, I want to do things like also like Tower of London, which I didn't budget for last time. I think it's like maybe 25 bucks. I could look that up really quick. Members, adults, 25 pounds. Oh, and you can do a donation. So, yeah, pounds are a lot more expensive than the US dollar right now. So I will make my goal for Tower of London 35. Museum entry. I'm trying to remember which museum I was hoping to go to. I think I'm just going to make this 35 again and call it good for now. I don't want to get too in the weeds right now about all the different things I want to do. I just want to give you the kind of general idea of how you figure out what these categories can be. And so if I want to move on from London and get down to a few of the cities that are less planned. So I'm going to focus on Brussels and see how long this video takes. Maybe there will be a part 2 if I don't have time to get to Amsterdam. So we are planning to take a train to Brussels from London. It's the underground train from the Channel. And if we buy our tickets in advance, it's going to be pretty affordable. Brussels I have not researched a lot about, so I want to show you this website that I have used forever since I became inspired to travel solo. And I'm just going to go to the navigation and click on destinations. He has this really cool interactive map, and I'm going to go over to Belgium. So he has really great copy and content. So we're going to Brussels. I wonder if we have time to go to Bergs. We'll see. We'll see when we get to kind of more the calendar aspect of this. So things to do. European Parliament. Oops. Interesting, the capital of Europe. I don't know if that's our speed. Grand Palace, that is my speed. Also a cathedral with beautiful stained glass, definitely my speed. And here's where it gets good. There's a $3 fee, super reasonable. I would like to know if there's a museum pass in Brussels. This is a really good tip if you go to a city. Like when I went to Istanbul, there was a museum pass that unfortunately I lost after going to one museum, so don't do that. All right, 44 Brussels museums. This is what I'm talking about. Information guide, city map. Let's see. So depending on our stamina, I'm thinking maybe the 48-hour one, because then we'll be able to have one sleep before we get up and go for the next day. So I'm going to budget for that and quickly go back to my calculator. I'm going to go to the good old euro. It's 36. So 42, I will just budget, I mean, yeah, 45 seems reasonable. It's like kind of bothering me that this is negative. All right, now what else do we want to do in Brussels? Chinese Pavilion and Japanese Tower. Huh. Eh. Oh, a brewery. I like that. A tour. Oh, hell yes, a brewery tour. That's very up our alley. And it's cheap. 10 bucks. 11. I always want to budget a little bit more, especially because like currency conversion. Gare de Mini Market, Sunday morning. The largest market in Europe. I love outdoor markets. Oh my gosh, favorite. Tasty food. Oh my gosh, hell yes. That I'm just gonna do like a food. So probably similar to London. There's gonna be dine-in. I'm just not gonna do pubs. Maybe I'll add brewery instead. Just because it's kind of fun to personalize each one. Like, obviously, if I want to go to a pub, I'm not going to be precious about spending at a brewery, but this is just what I find really motivating and also inspiring. Like, this is the budget is one place where your dreams become your plans. That transition is what makes the difference when it comes to living your dreams. Now that we have Brussels a little more settled, not sure how many days I want to spend in Brussels. I wonder if Nomadic Matt thinks that Bergs is worth it, filled with historical and medieval buildings, canals, and cobblestone streets. That sounds lovely. Ooh. Take a food tour. Oh, yes. I'm gonna name this Belgium. Is that how you spell Belgium? This is probably gonna... Oh yeah, that's right, okay. Because now I want to add Bergs. And that could be like a one-night trip. So for now, I'm just gonna say 200 for getting there, spending the night, it might be more than that. Europe is so much more expensive than Southeast Asia. Like, if you are on a really tight shoelace budget, bootstrap budget, go to Southeast Asia and stay in hostels. You'll meet amazing people and have amazing experiences. But we're talking about Europe. I feel good about these categories. I'm going to skip ahead, hoping that it updates this. Oh, I guess I don't have goals for these. I thought I did. Maybe I only did that for London. I just don't expect to spend as much time in Belgium as, well, just London. We'll see. I'm gonna flip back to my Brussels guide really quick and look at typical costs, because looking at those numbers, they seem really high. I didn't have hostel private room in this budget yet. And so if we're getting a museum pass for 48 hours, plus let's say the brewery tour takes about a day, want to make sure we're there on a Sunday, let's say maybe like 3 nights. How much would 3 nights cost? Budget hotel, let's see, private room with an ensuite bathroom. I feel like that's doable. Ugh, so expensive. 56 to 100 a night. Forest. Let's say 75 times 3. Oi. This is one of the things that I am not so sure Forrest knows how much more it will cost compared to hostels, and perhaps he would be more open to staying in a dorm if he realized that, or when I show him this budget. But I can only hope. I really want to stay in a dorm. I love staying in hostels. I know I've said that like 5 bazillion times, but this is my budget video. So, and I'm talking about travel, so I get to. I've been talking for a while now, so I think I'm just going to wrap it up here. Before I depart, I want to say thanks to everyone that has started to subscribe. I had no idea I would have this many subscribers when I started posting videos. And if you haven't already, you can like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!